There's a new study out that shows people working in the food industry are increasingly finding it more difficult to afford food, while these same restaurants are posting higher and higher profits. The problem is now so bad that Governor Cuomo is now calling for an investigation into the food service industry to determine what the problem is and what can be done about it. The report, based on over 280 surveys and interviews with restaurant workers in New York City and the San Francisco Bay Area, highlight the crucial ways in which the restaurant workers' employment conditions affect their ability to feed themselves. Key findings include an astonishing 41% of New York City restaurant workers surveyed were food insecure. 67% of undocumented restaurant workers surveyed were food insecure. The tipped workers in New York City were 30% more likely to be food insecure than their non-tipped counterparts. Many more interesting economic facts have come out as a result of the study. It also showed that people who work on tips or who are tipped workers are 30% less likely to be able to afford food than people in the restaurant industry that don't work on tips. However, once we take into account tipped workers who are undocumented immigrants, that number among them is exceedingly higher, as you would expect it to be. In keeping with the subject of tips, other studies have shown that tipping is still racist. And it shows that black service people who provide the same service as a white person do on average receive less in tips. About 32% of restaurant workers would be considered food insecure by the U.S. Department of Agriculture's definition. As a newly released report found, food security means availability of nutritional, safe food, as well as the ability to buy that food. Unfortunately, many restaurant workers cannot afford food that would meet this definition. Restaurant workers often eat at work, but they are usually only allowed to eat what's called a family meal, which is one prepared by the restaurant for its staff. Almost half of New York restaurant workers, at 49%, did not consider the family meal provided by their restaurant to be nutritious. This is another one of those ridiculous contradictions of capitalism. Here we have all this food with the tremendous amount of waste that goes with the food industry, right with people who cannot afford enough proper food to eat. This is not unlike the fact of capitalism in the United States, where there is 3 unoccupied homes for every homeless person in the country. This is entirely and obviously the product of a system that produces commodities for exchange and not for human need. Because once the law of value determines that those people are unable to get those commodities, they sit there and remain unsold or even wasted. That is the epitome of a system predicated on the social labor being used to develop commodities, the things people need to live, for exchange, not for human need. Thank you for watching. Please comment and rate the video. If you liked it, hit subscribe or check out some of these other great videos. If you wish, share it on social media. While you're at it, why don't you follow me on Twitter? And if you got time, go on over to the MRN bookstore and check out some of the latest books available.